Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jet Setter video blog series. This week, we review the Titans and discuss the quarterback position and the future of the Jets. All right, Tyson. On Monday night, the Jets lost to the Titans, which eliminated them from the playoffs. Now, I want to ask you if you're surprised, but you're not. You're one of the few people that predicted the loss.
Yeah, I'm not surprised the Jets lost on Monday night. I think they had a lot of problems going into the game, but the Titans didn't want to win. I mean, they gave the Jets every possible chance in the world to win that game. The Jets just didn't. Well, the Jets wanted to, but Mark Sanchez wouldn't allow them to. But, 14 penalties. I mean, the botched punt at the end of the game. And the Titans gave the Jets every possible chance to win the game. And they couldn't do it. So,
Well, do you agree with Mark Sanchez staying in the whole game?
No,
Rex Ryan leaving him in there?
No. Sanchez was terrible. That was probably the worst performance I've seen from him since probably his rookie year against the Falcons. I mean, that was brutal. I mean, you're sitting here watching the game like, take him out. I mean, he looked like a deer in headlights. He had no clue what to do, and he was like aimlessly throwing the ball. It was like, all right, you know what? Here he goes, and he had no confidence. He was out of it. I mean, let me say this: Sperano did him no favors. I mean, he completes 2 passes in a row. The offense is moving. Here comes Tebow. Like, seriously? And
that was one of the most frustrating sequences. He had a rhythm, and Tebow got the nice run. Then, boom, boom, punt.
But it's like Sanchez. He finally gets some rhythm. Now, keep on, this is a struggling quarterback that's got no confidence. He finally gets a rhythm, and then you take him out.
I was puzzled. I was just absolutely puzzled.
It was absurd. Like, you're sitting here like, are you kidding me? Like, it was like the perfect example of how this season has gone and the incompetence of the coaching staff. And me personally, now keep in mind, I don't even like Tim Tebow as a quarterback. I was begging to see him come in. I'm like, Sanchez was giving the game away. Keep on,
in the second half,
in the biggest game of the year. I mean, you need to win to stay in contention. Your quarterback is just dying out there, and you refuse to take him out. And if I'm calling for Tebow, you know it's not good.
Right. Well, Braylon Edwards took the field. You know, there was question with the hamstring. Is he going to be able to get out there?
He played well.
You know, he played with pep.
You know what? It was so funny. Some Jet fans were like, oh, Braylon sucks. He's this. He's that. What a waste. Dude, he played hard. He did what he could. They ran some routes for him. And the most important thing was Sanchez had confidence in him. He threw some passes before Braylon even broke off his route. So, I mean, I like what I saw out of Braylon. He's been a positive influence. And he's got some spirit. He's got some life. That's more to be said for some of these Jet players over the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been sleepwalking. Yeah. Braylon was out there. He was excited to be a Jet, excited to be on the field. I enjoyed seeing it. I thought he did well.
Made some tough catches, too.
Made some tough catches. I mean, for being on the team 3 days and having a positive impact on the game, how can you be mad at that? I think it was a good thing.
Well, the biggest news post-game, I believe yesterday was announced, McElroy's going to get the start. Rex Ryan already announced it. Do you agree with the move?
You have no choice. I mean, how do you bring Sanchez to MetLife Stadium and put him on the field?
Oh, my gosh.
You can't do it. You cannot do it. And now, like, they're not sure what they're going to do with him. He should be inactive. Don't even put him in uniform. He's walking into a wolf's nest. I mean, you're just walking into, Jet fans are just dying to boo him and yell at him and do whatever else they have to do with him. So, I agree with the move. But the more interesting thing is that it's not Tebow.
Right.
So, now, if you look at how Rex Ryan handled these quarterbacks, Tebow is your number 2 guy throughout most of the season. Push comes to shove, when you change the quarterback, who's the guy? McElroy. Why is that? Wouldn't Tebow be your number 2 guy?
Right.
So if Tebow's not your number 2 guy, then what does that say about him and your decision to bring him into the team?
Well, what's your opinion? Are they trying to see if McElroy is good enough to remain number 2 or maybe become number 1 next year? Or would it be smarter to play Tebow, showcase him for a trade?
They don't want nothing to do with the Tebow circus. My eyes, they want nothing to do with Tebow Mania. They do not want to put him on the field and see him do well for the next 2 games. Do you know what that means? Jet fans want to see him on the field next year.
Right.
They want him out of here. That's my honest opinion. We've been saying it all year. Rex Ryan's been scared to play him because as bad as Sanchez has played, he should have been benched, but they didn't want to bench him because they didn't want to put Tebow in the game. Either it's because he's a bad quarterback or they don't want to deal with all the nonsense. Either way, he's not playing. So that's my opinion on Tebow. As in terms of McElroy, he's an unknown, man. I mean, how do you know how he is off of 1 drive?
Well, we know his arm strength isn't
It's Chad Pennington-like, right? And have we not learned a lesson from like the Kevin Cobbs and the Matt Flynn's of the world that you're not going to give huge money to the backup quarterback off of 2 games? I mean, you've seen that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if the Jets, you give him a 2-game audition to prove that he could be number 2 next year, maybe you can't.
Well, let's post season now. After this, how do you handle Sanchez going forward? I know you owe him $8 million. How do you handle him going forward?
It's $8 million guaranteed, $17 million if you cut him.
Right.
He's got to go. He has to go. You got to be like New York Mets like with Jason Bay, and you got to beg a team to take a trade offer. If you owe him $8 million, say, you know, we will pay 6 of it, anything, dude, to get him off this team. Because you cannot, I mean, and let's be honest, it's going to happen because Woody Johnson's not going to, they can't sell tickets if you're bringing in Mark Sanchez next year as your starting quarterback. And you can't have a guy on your team making $8 million a year, unless you're Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, sitting on your bench. You know what I mean? So he has to go. It's better for him. It's better for the team. So if they can't find a trade partner, which Seattle would be a place he could go, because you know Pete Carroll's he's a jerk like that. You do a June 1st cut and make the hit less. I think it's instead of $17 million, it's $12 million.
Okay.
But you got to cut ties.
Let's say he's gone now. What do you do for quarterback next year?
Oh man, you're in trouble now. You know what? You can make a strong case that Jet fans won't deal with a young quarterback again. I think at this point, this team needs a proven veteran. I mean, names like Mike Vick have been thrown around. I mean, Matt Moore, Alex Smith. But it depends what happens with Sanchez. It comes down to cap space because your cap space, you have like the whole Rivas situation. Dustin Keller, do you bring him back? Do you try to bring Landry back? So it comes down to cap money. Do you bring in a one-year Band-Aid like a Matt Moore? Do you bring in a Mike Vick? I mean, there's so many questions. But my honest opinion is I don't think Jet fans are all now are saying, oh, we want like Cousins from Washington, who they're never going to trade unless you give away half your team.
Right.
Are Jet fans really ready for another young quarterback to go through 2 years of growing pains? Because, I mean, there is no... Matt Barkley's not coming to the Jets because we're not going to get a USC guy in here again.
Never.
He'll get run right. That's never going to happen. So who are you going to bring in? And as a Jet fan, are you ready to sit through a year to watch these growing pains? I think at this point, they need a proven veteran guy. Maybe a Matt Castle. Maybe.
Alex Smith is an intriguing name.
It's the price tag, though.
Right.
But the only thing about Alex Smith, he's a leader, dude, and he won't take some of this nonsense.
Right.
But
it's
a problem.
Well,
it's a problem.
We're going to have a long time to discuss this.
But the answer is that Sanchez needs to be off this team, and I'm almost positive it's going to happen. He won't be here next year.
All right, let's step back now. Let's talk
and by the way, Tebow will be out here too.
Right.
Tebow won't be here either.
Speaking of everything we just spoke of, the quarterback position as a whole, do you think the way Rex Ryan handled the position, just this position, is enough to get him fired?
Yes. Rex Ryan, the way he handled this team with this quarterback situation is grounds to have him fired at the end of the season, no doubt in my mind. I mean, the way he handled Mark Sanchez, I I respect him for being loyal, sticking by his franchise quarterback and doing that. And that's what a coach is supposed to do. But the kid, he wasn't up for it. Sanchez struggled. He regressed. He got worse. So you brought in your offensive coordinator, Tony Sparano, who was not ready for the position. He clearly failed. But the fact of the matter is that your season was on the line, and you put in Tim Tebow. After the Cardinal game, they brought McElroy in. He gave him a spark. They won the game. The following week, as your backup quarterback, you put an injured Tim Tebow behind Mark Sanchez, and McElroy was inactive. So Sanchez keep in mind, you're still the playoff hunt. Sanchez gets hurt. You're bringing a guy that you know can't play. Why'd you do that? Why?
It makes no good sense.
So then that's your first problem. Now you go along this week. Sanchez is awful. The worst game he's playing in the biggest game of the year, and you stick with him. And he throws interceptions, and he throws interceptions, and you do not pull him. Why? Because your number 2 quarterback can't play the game. The number 2 quarterback should have been McElroy. Rex Ryan's got to be a man to say, you know what? This is a game that we need to win. McElroy's number 2. And let Sanchez know, you start screwing up, you're out. We want to win games. We want to go to playoffs. Rex Ryan is too worried about hurting feelings, looking good for the players, and everything else. A proven head coach, you can't worry about that kind of stuff. It's about winning. Do you think Bill Belichick cares about hurting people's feelings? Any successful coach in the NFL, Parcells, they do not care. Rex Ryan, when he sold to us, when he first came to the Jets, remember? Bravado, ground and pound, talking trash, making headlines. We are going to be more physical. You knock us down, we're going to punch you in the face twice. All this great stuff. Have you seen his press conferences lately?
They're pretty apologetic.
Dude, he's a battered and beaten. He's all melancholy, this, that, got no swagger, right? I mean, you look at him now.
Done.
He doesn't know what to say. He talks in circles. He handled this Tebow thing horrifically. And in my eyes, he has to go. It's the mojo is gone. I mean, you're as an outsider looking in, what do you think?
I don't think this team could follow this dude into battle next year.
Nope.
That's the way I see it. I'm not sure how you can bark out those orders knowing that your coach is going to handle the most important position in all of football like that. We know he can call the defense. We do. We know that he has the respect of his offensive linemen. We know he's a tough guy. But that's savvy that it takes to lead a team.
He lost his swagger,
and you lose confidence. You're like, what is this dude doing? You know that, Revis. You know he's got to be thinking, what the heck is he doing?
But you got, and that's like last year the team quit on him at the end of the season. He didn't have a pulse in the locker room. You lose that pulse in the locker room when you make bad decisions like keeping your quarterback in the game too long with the season on the line. I mean, you're sitting there on the sidelines and you see Bart, Scott, Landry. They're all looking like Sanchez is just dying. I mean, he looks awful. Like, take him out. Like, do something, coach. Do something. And out he goes again. That's how you lose your locker room. And the funny thing is, everybody this week is saying, oh, Rex has a good feel for his team. You know when you're going to find that out? The next 2 weeks.
Right.
When you're playing for something, everybody cares. When you're not playing for nothing, that's when heads are going to start rolling. And that's what you're going to see this week. What happened last year in Miami? They were eliminated. Right. Finger pointing, Santonio Holmes.
Let's segue into San Diego. How do you approach that game? What do you do? I mean, is there... I want to talk about offensive game plans like we normally do, but it seems anticlimactic because we know McElroy starting. What do you think about the San Diego game? Offensively.
Honestly, I don't think anything. I mean, I have a funny feeling they're going to, you want to see McElroy have good command of the offense, spread the ball around. I mean, Stephen Hill's out for the year now.
Right.
What do you... my biggest concern with this is that they start McElroy and they mix in Tebow too much, which is kind of contradicts what I said earlier. But because now Tebow's talking about, at the end of the season he's going to want to be traded.
Right.
So do the Jets react to that and do a ton of Wildcat this week to say, oh, we showed you we're going to do Wildcat? But, I mean, this game is meaningless, man. It's like you just want to see the young players play. But on offense, they really don't have any. I mean, where's your young guy you want to see play? Stephen Hill, he's out for the year. I mean, Jeff Cumberland on tight end, but where's your young guy? I mean, get McElroy playing time.
We'll speak to the game offensively. This is a pretty anticlimactic game. It's
is.
going to be a rough game to attend, a rough game to watch. You as a fan, where do you hang your hat? Do you just kind of like...
Now I want to see who quits. That's what I'm looking for.
So that's
I want to see. I want to see, does McElroy inspire this team? Do they play hard for him? Can he move? Can this offense work with a different quarterback? I mean, against a Charger team, if they show up, is not too bad.
I think it's going to be scary if this kid starts moving this ball, and then everybody realizes last week
it's going to get Rex fired. It'll get Rex fired. If McElroy comes in this week and lights things up, people are going to look back to next week and say, "Why didn't you do this last week when the season's on the line? Why did you?" I mean, Rex. That's why I say Rex is in a tough spot here. But offensively, move the ball. Get Braylon some more playing time. I mean, what else?
Well, I don't know too much about McElroy, but I do know this: at Alabama. There's not much more pressure than being the quarterback at Alabama.
Well, there's no pressure this week because the season's over.
So, give me a prediction.
Well, the other thing is, too, on defense. On defense, I want to see more playing time out of Copels. I'm not sure why he's not playing enough. Copels, Davis, get all these young players involved. I don't care about the Bart Scotts of the world anymore. I don't care about any of these other guys anymore. Every young guy should get substantial playing time the next 2 weeks. I know Rex Ryan wants to end the season 8-8. That's awesome. Great to hear that, but playing time. Get these guys on film, see what they can and can't do, and know what you're getting yourself into next week for the draft and stuff like that. This is not time to worry about taking care of the veterans. You've had 14 weeks to do that. You prove what you can and can't do. Get the young guys in there.
Let me ask you this then: do you think in the back of your mind, Rex Ryan already knows he's gone, and do you even play that game of evaluating talent for next year, or do you assume if you're in Rex Ryan's shoes, do you assume that you're coming back next year? And you start really evaluating your talent and start building your team for next year.
Honestly, I think Rex is going to play to win these games. I think he is, and which is good and it's bad. I mean, you want to see him keep. You want to see a good product on the field. But I think Rex believes if he goes 8-8 this year, he could save his job.
Right.
But to me, I don't see how you keep. I mean, it's a great question though. I think he's going to try, but you got to play the young guys. I mean, Copels is not playing enough. I mean, get these guys out to get reps. I mean, what better time? I mean, what better time to get them than now? It's just a mess, man.
All right, off the subject a little. Heading into bowl season, what position are you looking at? Are you looking, as a Jet fan, are you looking, that quarterback looks interesting, or are you looking at a specific defender?
Honestly, it depends. It depends on how this salary cap works out. I mean, it depends on what you can you get rid of Tebow.
Right.
How you get rid. There's so many. They have so many holes, dude. Because you're going to lose almost your entire linebacking core. Calvin Pace, Brian Thomas, Bart Scott, gone. You can't afford Laurent Landry. He's going to be gone. Eric Smith's going to be gone. Now you have 2 safeties, 3 linebackers. I mean, you need receiving help. You're going to need a quarterback. Sean Green could be gone. Dustin Keller could be gone. You're talking about an overhaul. They're almost forced to overhaul just on personnel decisions.
Well, Notre Dame has a good-looking tight end.
Don't get me started with Notre Dame stuff.
All right.
The next video,
that's coming.
all
that's
Notre
coming.
Dame. But my prediction for this game on Sunday, a tie. Because it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, and that's it, man. It's a rough one.
All right, well, let's go Jets.
Here we go. Thank you for watching your latest video. We'd like to wish all of you guys and your families a very happy and healthy holiday season. Check us out, jetsetter.com, on Twitter, TRauch21, Facebook, Tyson Rauch. That's Alf on Tyson. See you guys next week.